Well, everybody, I'm gonna have to start this off by asking you, how many of you are familiar with a comedian by the name of Sam Hyde? Samuel Hidington, even. Uh, if you're not familiar with him by name, you're certainly familiar with him by face. You've seen him somewhere. He's like it's really hard to describe. He's kind of like a demon that appears in everyone's dreams or something. You know that one image of like the guy, like everyone's seen this face in their dreams? He's literally that, only of the internet. You've seen this guy somewhere. Everybody has seen him. He is the shiny red-faced goober in the Iron Man suit. You've probably seen him in that meme. You've probably seen him on TV or referenced in some way in a meme. He's often been something his fans will do is they will take an image of him with a gun and make a hoax that he was a school shooter or was the perpetrator of a terrorist attack or that he died in some disaster. Something along those lines, right? Now, Sam Hyde ended up blowing up on the internet after a pretty edgy. Well, actually, before I get to his history, regardless of whether or not you know him by face or by name, you've definitely, at the very least, become somewhat aware, if you're in my community, of this clip and the drama that followed it. So this clip comes from just a couple days ago at KSI's YouTuber influencer boxing match, where I believe Sam Hyde boxed against and won against some... I think he might have been a professional boxer. Something along those lines. I don't remember the exact details. I didn't watch it. I don't watch the streamer or YouTuber influencer boxing stuff. I almost went to Crater Clash, though. I didn't get to, though. That aside, though, that's not important. Sam Hyde went to this boxing event kind of playing a character, much like, you know, many professional wrestlers and boxers might do. You know, kind of put on sort of a fake, sort of a fake facade for the purpose of, you know, rousing up the crowd. Only that's Sam Hyde's whole thing, is that he plays different characters and does different bits. So, it's kind of, he's particularly good at it. And in this, he played like an angry IRA Irishman. I don't really understand the full depth of the character. All I know is that he had an Irish accent on, and at the end of the match, when he wins and he's getting, interviewed, I guess you could say, he's getting his speech, he finishes it off with this, which many of you, I'm sure, will cringe at, but I'm going to make you listen to it 3 times over and over again until it's funny, because somehow this gets funnier every time I hear it.
You got anyone you want to call out in the heavyweight division?
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that Hassan Piker? I'm coming to kill you in Los Angeles at your house.
Or in the ring?
No, in real life. I'm going to stalk him and become obsessed with him and wear his makeup and his dresses and use his skin as a coat like the ancient Irish did.
Well, that's your winner, Sam Hyde!
Bloody.
Now, this is quite objectively funny, okay? This is objectively funny, and I want Hassan to box Sam Hyde, okay? Why the fuck does he not like Hassan? We're going to get into that in a moment. So, we'll get into why Sam Hyde hates Hassan momentarily, but first, I do want to say, I do want Hassan to box Sam Hyde. I do think he should. I think it would be objectively entertaining. It would be objectively funny. I don't know. I just think, I think it would be hilarious.
Welcome to capitalism.
And, I just think it'd be good content. He should do it. He should do it. It'd be funny. However, let's get into exactly why Sam Hyde does not like Hassan and why Sam Hyde so badly wants to fight Hassan. Here I've got an article called The Uncancellation of Sam Hyde, which I think will do a good job of explaining his background and why why Sam Hyde is such a controversial figure and why his recent extreme resurgence in popularity is, maybe a little bad. Anyway, whether fans of boxing like it or not, YouTube vloggers, Twitch streamers, and other content creators have begun drawing more eyeballs to their work by fighting each other in high-profile creator clashes, and people like brothers Jake and Logan Paul have raked in millions of dollars as a result. The format is making big stars out of people who aren't household names. Now it seems like it could restore the reputation of the extremely cancelled, quote-unquote, American comedian Sam Hyde, who trended on social media this weekend after he knocked out popular music influencer Jake I Am Thompson Thompson. Very much not in need of putting the username in the middle there, and a heavyweight boxing fight. To put Hyde's return in context, it helps to understand his precipitous fall a half-decade ago. After announcing himself as a force on the comedy scene in 2013 with a subversive TEDx talk entitled 2070 Paradigm Shift, Hyde rode this bit of minor fame to a cable television deal with Adult Swim. The resulting show, $1 Million Extreme Presents World Peace, represented an evolution in sketch comedy aesthetics beyond the tamer territory staked out by its obvious inspiration Tim and Eric. But the show triggered critics and network executives alike with its edgy, uncomfortable humor and what some claimed were coded racist messages hidden in the intricate sets and animations. Comedian Brett Gelman quit working with Adult Swim because of the show, and Tim Heidecker, one of Sam Hyde's comedic influences, denounced the young comedian, which started a long-running feud. I'll continue in just a moment. Let me take a hit of my monster. Hyde was one of the first semi-mainstream pop culture figures to fall from grace. Wiped away completely in the initial wave of cancellations that followed Trump's election in the United States. He made some strategic missteps afterwards, such as signing up to be part of far-right gun activist Cody Wilson's Patreon quote-unquote service for canceled creators, which quickly disbanded after Visa refused to process its payments, and pledging $5,000 towards the legal defense fund of Andrew Anglin, who ran the neo-Nazi publication The Daily Stormer. So, Sam Hyde, I think we can probably stop reading here. I'll give a little bit more background that I know, but we can probably stop reading the article there. That's the most important part, generally. Now, nobody on the internet really takes what anybody says seriously. Like, you can, like, argue with your average gamer bro for, like, 1,000,000 hours about how Sam Hyde is a Nazi because he said and did this, and this. And they won't listen to it. They won't listen to it because at the end of the day, whether or not Sam Hyde is a Nazi doesn't matter to them. They don't really care if anybody's a Nazi or not. Like, whether or not Sam Hyde wants people, like an entire race of people dead, to them isn't really relevant to whether or not his comedy sketches are funny. The problem is that Sam Hyde does kind of, drip drop a little bit of his political beliefs into his comedy. And his political beliefs, I think, are pretty evident when you consider the fact that, I'll admit, maybe joining or signing up for the alt-right, like, Patreon service was a meme, and he thought it was funny. But in no universe is donating $5,000 to the legal defense of the owner of The Daily Stormer, the Nazi publication. Like, they don't even bother to defend themselves against the accusation. They just outright state they're the Nazi publication, the definitive Nazi publication. He donated to the legal defense of the person who runs that. He's definitely a Nazi. Like, Sam Hyde, definitely at the very least far right, at the very least a white nationalist. His actions, his behavior, the political tones that he generally tends to add to his content make that pretty obvious. Yikes, lol. I wonder if you're yikesing. Are you yikesing Sam Hyde or are you yikesing me? Because I have had a lot of comments on my videos where people are like, Sam Hyde's not a Nazi. It's just jokes, bro. Well, regardless of whether or not it's jokes, the far right has effectively claimed Sam Hyde, and they claim that, he's their guy, and he doesn't really seem to be opposed to that in any way, which obviously seems to be a pretty strong indication as to why Hassan Piker, without a doubt, the most popular left-wing figure on the internet right now, why he might want to call him out. So let's watch it again.
You got anyone you want to call out in the heavyweight division?
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that, Hassan Piker! I'm coming to kill you!
So, when you consider the fact that he's donated thousands of dollars to the Daily Stormer, and you consider the fact that he is certainly far right in his politics and uses humor to cover up his beliefs as a shield, which he does objectively do. That's, very much like Andrew Tate, who's like, "Oh nah, bro, I'm speaking facts, dude. I'm just everything that I say that you don't like is a joke, and everything that I say that maybe has a little bit of foundation to it is 100% serious." That's basically how Andrew Tate operated, and that's more or less, but with comedy, how Sam Hyde will operate as well. And it's how his fans will defend him, too. There's a lot of crossover in the popularity and the rise and growth lately of, like, Andrew Tate and Sam Hyde. Their fan bases are pretty much... If you could draw a Venn diagram of the fan bases of Sam Hyde and Andrew Tate's circle would be larger and would pretty much be consuming Sam Hyde's circle. Pretty much. Come on. They have a lot of crossover in the interest in their fan bases, right? And they're both decidedly right-wing, and they both put their political influences into their jokes and into their humor, and their fans try to deny the presence of said political influences by saying, well, it's a joke, so none of the beliefs behind the joke matter. Which is an interesting defense against any criticism whatsoever, I suppose. But regardless, I do still think this clip is funny. But when you consider the fact that this is a guy who likes to hide genuine sentiment, and I'm not saying he actually wants to kill Hassan. I'll get into what I mean in a moment. When you consider this is a guy that likes to hide actual sentiment behind jokes that he delivers with essentially a DreamWorks smug smile on the whole time, or like the Pepe emote face on, you start to wonder, like, what was he trying to do here? Is this a genuine call out to Box Hassan that he's making just because he loves the sport of boxing, or does he recognize that he has a unique place right now as a far-right figure that is untouchable when it comes to criticism? That is effectively what he's done. Whether anybody wants to admit it or not, he is a far-right figure that through his sketch comedy and claiming everything as a joke has basically made himself untouchable to criticism. Because if you do criticize him, if you do treat anything he says as though it's serious, or as if there's even a width of seriousness there, then you'll get called triggered and you'll get made fun of. I will no doubt get called triggered and made fun of for this video, and I'd say I've gone into this video with about as much objectivity as you can, and I want to say, by the way, once again, reminding you guys, this is still funny. This is still funny.
You know that, Hassan Piker? I'm coming to kill you!
It's objectively funny. It's objectively funny. I'm not denying it. You're allowed to agree that this is funny while also admitting Sam Hyde is a neo-Nazi, probably, and he's got political motivations to this. Now, I'm not so much here to condemn the Hassan Piker, I'm coming to kill you thing. I don't know. I think it's funny. I have no issue with it. More so what I want to talk about, and more so the behavior that I want to condemn, is the response to Hassan's response. Let's go ahead and bring up the clip. The clippy clop. Let's see. Do we have a clip where Hassan reacts? Wait, what? Wait, what the fuck? What did I just find? Oh my god. Did I just find Atheism is Unstoppable's new YouTube channel? I just did. For those of you guys that don't remember, that don't know, there used to be this semi-popular neo-Nazi like skeptic YouTuber named Atheism is Unstoppable, also known as Autism is Unstoppable, and apparently he's made a new YouTube channel called The Pouch, which literally has a censored image of a woman's breasts here on the banner. It's like literally just blocks above the nipples, I guess, in the banner. And the channel's not doing particularly well, except for a re-upload of a clip of a fight that they did. Everything else is not doing particularly well. Jesus Christ. I always loved it, like, you know what this reminds me of? When I stumble across the long dead, like, long you know, irrelevant channel of an old skeptic YouTuber I used to watch. It reminds me of that scene in the first episode of The Walking Dead where Rick discovers the bicycle walker. You guys remember that walker? The one that's like, you kind of feel bad for it and he puts it down out of pity. Like, it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Maybe we should do a video dunking on this channel. That would be dope. Anyway, no. We're getting sidetracked. I want to find Hassan. Hassan Reacts. Because he got a lot of shit for this. Oh no. Oh no. You know it's bad when his clip channels, when Hassan's clip channels haven't even uploaded his reaction. Oh god. We have to watch the Quarterings video on it. I think, okay, I'm just gonna skip through the cringy meme edit that the Quartering put at the beginning. He put a cringy Death Note meme edit at the beginning of his video to stretch it out for time. Yeah, we're gonna watch the Basement Pisser here. And I think this should give you a good, a good periscope view into the types of people that are weaponizing this whole thing against Hassan, and frankly, how badly Hassan handled this. I don't even know necessarily if it was Hassan handled it badly, or if it's just like, there's no way Hassan could have responded to it other than, yeah, I'll fight, without getting this level of shit. I don't know. Let's watch this. Let's see how the right is framing this.
Weekend there was some sort of influencer boxing battle. I don't really care about YouTube boxing, but I know some of my viewers do. I would rather watch, like, I guess I understand the...
Oh god, I forgot. The Quartering is dumber. Listen, okay, I want to be clear right now. I am high as fuck right now. I am stoned out of my fucking mind at the moment, and I'm speaking faster, more coherently, despite the stuttering, and more entertainingly, I would say, with less mumble than the Quartering is. And I am blitzed right now. I am fucking blitzed. This man does not know how to speak. How do you do this for, like, how many years has the Quartering been doing this? How do you do this for however many years the Quartering has been doing this and not get better at just talking off the bat? Like, if you go back and you watch my original videos, like my original commentary videos, my original stream segments, the presentation between those and today is like night and day. It's like another universe.
The appeal, especially like with Barstool's Rough and Rowdy, like watching amateurs go at it, I suppose is interesting to some people. I guess I find that more interesting than these professionals that dance around and never get hit.
I like bare knuckle boxing. Bare knuckle boxing is probably without a doubt the most entertaining fighting to watch. Unless it's just a full-on fight to the death. Oh, did I forget to mention, by the way, the Quartering straight up stole his logo. It's funny that the Quartering ended up just randomly becoming relevant right now. Because earlier today, I was in a call with Cherry, and just randomly the Quartering stealing his logo came up. But yeah, I mean, I might as well bring this up. I guess if you were ever, if you didn't know this, yeah, the Quartering completely stole his logo from a random barbershop. All he did was just kind of, he took the hair, and he lowered the amount of distance between the sideburns and the beard, and then he colored it blue instead of sort of a navy blue and gray. Yeah, so, yeah, he literally just made the face a little bit fatter to match him. That's all he did. He lowered the length, the width, he lowered the height of the face to make it fatter so it would match him, and then change the color.
But it's not something I ever really got into, and I'm still not really into it. But there was one particular boxer in the ring who goes by the name of the Candyman. You may know him as Sam, and the
oh yeah, the Candyman was Sam Hyde's character that he was playing, by the way.
Dude.
Hey, thank you, Ron's KFC. I really appreciate that. Supporting my man Zan. How's the moving plans coming along? Pretty well, thank you. I really appreciate the $10. Yeah, we're hoping to move by the end of the year or early next year is when I'm hoping to move to Seattle. That is when, that's when we're hoping to do it. So let's go.
And the guy that just can't keep getting away with it. And he's been calling out multi-millionaire champagne socialist Hassan Piker for a very long time. In fact, I believe even on my podcast with Count Dankula.
By the way, conservatives only ever care if somebody is rich if they advocate for the world to be a better place. Have you ever noticed that? To conservatives like this, having money is only ever bad or worth criticizing if you advocate for the world to be a better place. You're only allowed to have money and be evil. Xander Hall, never forget the time he got called a dipshit by David Hayter. Oh yeah, the voice actor of Solid Snake himself called the Quartering a dipshit on Twitter. That was quite legendary. I wanted to reply something along the lines of, dude, you're David Hayter. You could literally just record a voice clip and ruin this man's career. Like, if David Hayter just said in Snake's voice, the Quartering is a fucking pussy, like, his career would be fucking done. The Quartering's career would be over if there was a clip of Solid Snake calling him a pussy. The amount of restraint David Hayter has to not just... The amount of restraint any famous voice actor has not to just do the voice of famous characters that they do when shit-talking people on Twitter is immense restraint, frankly. If I, like, voiced SpongeBob or something and somebody called me dumb on Twitter, I would literally quote tweet them with a clip of me saying, "Hey, go fuck yourself," like, in SpongeBob's voice. That would be me. Voice actors usually aren't allowed to do that. The woman who did Bart Simpson got sued for using Bart's voice to do right-wing ads. Oh. Holy shit. I didn't know that. Damn. Imagine your own voice being, like, controlled by a company. Ads for Scientology. Oh, like, it sucks the lady who voices Bart Simpson wanted to do ads for Scientology, but at the same time, it's like, on one hand, the character of Bart Simpson is owned and you know, the company has rights to that. We can't get stun locked on this. This is too... Well, you're going to have me talking about this for 10 minutes.
And Bearing, I believe Sam offered like $1 million for a fight. Now, I wouldn't want to step in the ring against the Candyman, but you better believe I would do it for $1 million cash. Well, I think it was Bitcoin at the time, but
honestly, I would box Sam Hyde for $1 million. Like, for $1 million, like, I'd be forced to have to put on quite a bit of weight first. And if isn't Sam Hyde on T? Sam Hyde said on PK that he's on anabolic steroids. So if I'm going to box Sam Hyde, then I get to get on anabolic steroids too. But I'd do it for $1 million. Absolutely. I'd lose, but I'd get $1 million. Yeah. And you get a few free punches in. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. A free $1 million. Yeah. 100%. I'd let Sam Hyde punch me in the face for $1 million, okay? Like, I don't give a shit. For $1 million, there's a lot that I could do with that would just make the world a better place. I wouldn't let Sam Hyde punch me in the face for $1 million, but I would box him for $1 million. I don't know why Hassan doesn't take that offer, like, legitimately. For one, I feel like Hassan could probably... I don't know if Hassan would beat him, but I think Hassan could at least hold his own pretty well. Like, I've seen Hassan's workout clips on Instagram. He seems to be, like, getting into pretty good shape. And what's Hassan, like 6'4" or something? I don't even know if Hassan knows how to fight. Bro, Sam Hyde was learning how to fight basically with Harley Mornston, Epic Mealtime, in the preparation for the Creator Clash thing. If Hassan started learning to box now, he'd be, like, a few months behind. Like, Sam, I feel like. Or does Sam have prior boxing experience? Because he seemed like he was more or less learning with Harley. Sam Hyde's been training to fight, though? Yeah. A lot of influencers have been. God, it would be so exciting. Once I move to Seattle and I can finally fucking get my infinite egg factory going, the quail farm, the infinite egg protein factory, then that's when shit's gonna get nutty. When I have infinite eggs. I don't think you understand how overwhelming the egg production from 12 quail alone is going to be, guys. The hens lay an egg every day, sometimes two. Like, and it's just gonna be me. So I'm going to be eating a whole lot of fucking quail eggs. I might just end up deciding to live on quail eggs. Why not, right? Like, is there any reason why I couldn't live on quail eggs and spinach? I love spinach. I love eggs. Couldn't I live on that? I don't know. That just sounds like a fucking hell of a working out diet. And those are two... I do not mind. I love spinach, just raw spinach, like in a salad. And I love egg. You could Oh my god. Hard boil the quail eggs and then slice them up, like the sliced up hard boiled quail eggs, and then put that into the spinach as like a salad. That'd be fucking good. All right, I'm already thinking about my workout meals once I get the quails going.
Saturday, Sam boxed somebody and achieved a knockout victory, and in his post-fight speech, decided, well, to make another very spicy call-out. And
You think Hassan would hold his own against Sam? Yeah, that explains why you get a perma if you mention his name in Hassan's chat. What? You think Hassan would hold his own? That explains why you get... Oh, okay, I'm confused as to what you were saying. No, I don't think Hassan would win, like definitively win a fight with Sam. I think there's a good chance he could, depending on his training and depending on how much more weight he gains. Hassan probably would need to put on a bit more weight, but like he and Sam are about similar height. They're both like in the 6 foot range, like 6'2" to 6'4", I believe. And besides like Sam Hyde being on steroids, I mean, dude, I can't wait to get into shape so that I can do workout content, because there's some fucking pseudoscience that plagues the workout and fitness community. Athlean X is so full of bullshit half the time. Oh my god. It's so sad that so many people that want to get into working out, chances are they're going to go on YouTube and the first and possibly only thing they're going to like start watching will be Athlean X. Ugh. I can't wait to dunk on some of those channels. I know you're talking about my body type, but you reminded me of the fucking workout content. Box the quartering? Yeah, me and the quartering, we gotta go on our workout arcs individually, and then we can box. That'd be dope. Anyway. So, as you can see, people like the quartering have obviously taken to politicizing this as being like, you know, somehow like a dunk on the left in some way, I guess. Because Hassan isn't boxing Sam Hyde, I guess that means the left lost. We lost a point in the culture war, guys. The left wing has been destroyed because Hassan won't box Sam Hyde. Anyway, the right is trying to weaponize this, and then of course you've got like the more apolitical, like commentary debate, or like more like commentary, blood sports / drama tuber area that really like Sam Hyde and are really anti-deplatforming, that are like, oh, no. The right isn't using Sam Hyde. The right, like, they'll deny that this is happening, but it is happening. The right is weaponizing this. And it's hard to... I have a hard time knowing how I feel about it, right? Because on one hand, I feel like Hassan, in many respects, is not a very good representative of the left. Like, generally. Not even of really progressive politics a lot of the time. But at the same time, if he wasn't a good representative, he wouldn't be as popular as he is. So, I mean, what he's doing is clearly working. But then at the same time, he just keeps on doing things that give the right ammo. So I always find myself having a hard time knowing what to feel about Hassan. I feel like his heart's in the right place in a lot of areas. I really don't like how much drama he's had when it comes to not paying his editors. I don't know how that motherfucker has had any confusion or drama or whatsoever involving paying editors. Like, bro, when I was living paycheck to paycheck, I was still finding a way to scrape together enough money to pay my editor if they needed it. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't know how Hassan had any issue with that, but putting that aside, I feel like Hassan's heart is in the right place most of the time. He's just kind of dumb and himbo. So I find myself not knowing how to feel about this. On one hand, Xanderhall, when you were being robbed, well, yeah, I was living paycheck to paycheck because I was being robbed. Regardless, though, I find myself not really knowing how to feel about this, because on one hand, obviously Sam Hyde is funny. He is a talented comedian, whether you like him or not. Nothing that he's said has been like a direct call for... And nothing that he said has necessarily been what I would consider, except for the call out that he did there, would be something I'd consider to be TOS necessarily. And while I do believe he's probably a Nazi, he's definitely far right. He's been pretty good at keeping the mask on, which is actually pretty funny when you consider the fact the image of him that's on screen right now, he's wearing a mask. He's pretty good at keeping the mask on. So he hasn't really said or done anything directly that I think is TOS, I guess, unless you consider the donation to the Stormfront, what's the Nazi publication called? The Daily Stormer guy. Unless you consider his $5,000 donation to the Daily Stormer guy to be like TOS on other platforms, that would be iffy. I don't know if I believe in like banning him or anything, but at the same time, it is definitely unsettling to see so many people who are not or claim not to be conservatives or Nazis or whatever defending a Nazi making a death threat to the most popular left-wing figure on the internet, but it's a joke, so it's cool. But also everybody knows Sam Hyde despises Hassan Piker and has political motivations against him, but also it's just a joke. But also everybody knows Sam Hyde hates Hassan. I don't know. It all feels like a very tongue-in-cheek attempt to defend Sam Hyde from any criticism. Basically to make it so that Sam Hyde can say or do anything with complete impunity. And I don't believe in anybody on the internet having impunity personally. But at the same time, holy fuck, do I wish Hassan would have handled this better. He started banning people in his chat that even brought up Sam Hyde or would like ask him to talk about it, which is just not a good way to handle it. Usually you just want to ignore people when they bring up stuff like that in your chat. Like, that's usually the best way to handle it. He just ended up banning them, and it didn't help that they were paying subs, so then people were able to say, Hassan bans paying subs, which is never been an issue for any streamer to do in the past, but apparently it's a problem if he does it. The double standards and what people have criticized Hassan for in all of this have been glaring. There's very clear political motivations and why people are siding with Sam Hyde over Hassan, and I just wish more people would be honest about it, because it feels like so many, like, apolitical, edgelord, like, free speech lovers right now are definitively taking the side of Nazis at every turn, but they're denying that allegiance, they're denying that association, because humor, jokes, guilt by association. It's pretty much the same type of shit we saw back during Gamergate, like the end of Gamergate, when people like Andy Worski were like getting into the, you know, he went from being like your average like anti-SJW YouTuber to full on like race realism neo-Nazi shit, and the whole thing started to fall apart because it stopped. The line between full on white nationalist neo-Nazi and just general anti-SJW YouTuber started to dissolve, and that whole community fell apart. The line between like commentary, edgy commentary drama YouTuber and full-on neo-Nazi is starting to dissolve too. Not in politics, but in the communities they inhabit. Kiwi Farms, the, what's it called, Cozy TV, I mean, even DGG to an extent. I've been seeing like a lot of liberals in DGG getting pissed off at how many Nazis are being allowed into the community. It's like, the libs are bad there now? Fuck. What's going on next door? Whenever I look at Destiny's Reddit, it's like looking at your neighbor next door that like is always throwing parties and has crazy shit going on, but you just don't really like pay attention. But like every time you do pay attention, something crazy has changed. Everyone's had that neighbor, right? That one neighbor that like always something is going on at their house and something's always changing in their yard or about their house, or just something crazy is always happening. And, you know, one day goes by, 2 days go by without you looking at that house and it looks totally different. there's a new car in the yard. There's like a new paint job. There's like a fucking trailer hitch, like a whole trailer for like a boat. They bought a boat or something. Like, I don't know. That's the kind of shit. That's how I feel when I look over at Destiny's community. It's like, okay, oh. Whew. Been a while, huh? No, it's been 2 days. My neighbor has a fucking pen for her pet ducks in the front lawn. That is based. Our neighbors are like that, Hank Star. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like right now we're seeing this very bizarre, like, dissolving of the line between communities that, like, I feel like 3 years ago were considered decidedly, like, dark, dingy corners of the internet that weren't really taken seriously or meant to be worried about. Like, places that were once considered that have kind of now become normalized and just sort of part of more mainstream communities, you know? Like, it's been interesting to see and a little bit worrying. And it does harken a lot back to how Gamergate originally ended, which was when that line dissolved between your average harmless anti-SJW YouTuber and the white nationalist propagandists that were using them. We'll see how it ends. I've been right about these predictions about where internet culture was going in the past, so we'll see if I'm right twice. Or, I guess, it wouldn't even be twice. It'd be way more than twice. Like, for the 50th time now? Let's see if I'm right for the 50th time. Anyway, if you enjoyed this segment, please consider leaving a like. It really does help out. It's totally free, and it's not a hollow show of support. YouTube has definitely buffed the like button. Imagine YouTube is like a game development company. They've buffed the like button. The like button has been buffed. So hit it. It's a little thumbs up. Hit it. Do it right now. Do it. Anyway, if you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. You can ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. And of course, if you want to see more from me, you can always follow my social media, linked down below in the description. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Twitter is where all of my biggest, spiciest, most juicy memes tend to go. So definitely follow me on Twitter. The community really has its like strongest roots, I'd say, on the website, xanderhall.com/live, and on my Discord server, so you can go there as well. Links are in the description. And of course, if you want to support me directly financially, you can always do so, like many others in the chat today have done, by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub directly on my website, xanderhall.com/live, as mentioned before, or you can support me on YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or Patreon. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a good one.